American business and economy.
Raised. I'm constantly hearing people blame Joe Biden for high gas prices, but did you know Trump actually cut a deal that raised oil prices for Americans? In 2020, then President Trump made an agreement with Vladimir Putin, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and OPEC, or the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, to increase oil prices so that he could benefit his largest big oil donor, Harold Hamm. Falling oil prices caused by a price war between Russia and OPEC were severely damaging Texas's energy economy, and Texas oil tycoons like Hamm could not compete with the lower prices. Hamm warned Trump that if Texas's oil economy collapsed, it could severely damage his chance at a second term. It would also likely damage his future chances of getting money from Hamm, and Trump knew that, given Hamm and his big oil co-parts have contributed nearly $21 million to Trump, pro-Trump super PACs, and the RNC. So he persuaded OPEC and Russia to end their price war by producing fewer barrels of oil a day. If they didn't, he threatened to end a military partnership with Saudi Arabia that's been in place since 1951. So fast forward, Biden is president and is now tasked with lowering oil prices after our then president raised them on purpose to benefit one of his key benefactors. This is yet another reminder that when critics say the economy was bad under the Biden administration, it was partially due to the fallout from Trump, who made decisions led by money.
So most people do not like higher gas prices except for the oil and gas producers, because the companies, the higher the gas prices, the higher the revenue, and the higher the profits, the higher the stock price. So this video said that Donald Trump was the main reason of the higher gas prices. Is that true? And most people like to blame president when they have to pay higher gas prices at the pump. And which president is it? Is it a valid reason to blame the president, or could it be other reason that's out of the control for the presidents? That's what we are going to look at. In this video, we're going to look at the data and tell you honestly what could be the cause and how to think analytically so that you can design for yourself. And that's Daily was the only one who talked about higher gas prices caused by Donald Trump policy. Let's look at billionaire Mark Cuban. What did he say about higher gas prices?
So there was a point in time, because I was just reading about this, in 2020, right as the pandemic was starting. And because there was a lot of the demand for oil and gas was falling, Russia and Saudi Arabia got into a price war on oil. And the price of gas just plummeted. And a bunch of the people in the oil industry went to Donald Trump and said, you know MBS at Saudi Arabia, you know Putin, for better or worse, get them together.
And let's make this.
And let's reduce production so the price of oil goes up. Now, here's the bargain. Do you save the oil companies, or do you save all the people who are suffering from the pandemic and want to pay less for gas? And so when and if you track it, the reduction in production of oil, they pulled back so much so that the price went up. And then over time, over the following 2 years, so that was from early 2020 to late 2022, they increased production. And when you increase production, the price of gas goes back down some. So when they were reducing production, the price of gas went like this. And that was the start of inflation. Because just like he says all the time, drill, because that'll reduce the prices of everything else. Well, he literally caused the prices of everything else to start going up. So by the time he left,
the price of oil is expensive, the shipping is more expensive.
Everything is
it's
more
a trickle-down effect from one.
So what do you think? Do you think it's because of Donald Trump policy, or could it be other factors? Who do you support? Do you support Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Comment down below. And it makes sense. And one, the price of any commodity is totally up to supply and demand. So when there's more supply, the oil price went down because of COVID. Nobody was driving and lots of factories were closed. So there was so little demand. And because the oil price drop caused by the less demand, Saudi Arabia and Russia, the oil producing countries, OPEC, they have to sell those oils because you cannot just keep oil. It costs money to keep oils. Thousands or 10,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day just to store the oil. It can be in a warehouse, it can be in a shipping, on a ship tank. You know, when the ship tank, oil tank, they dock at the port, they need to pay money. So it costs money. So they need to reduce the price of oil to just get rid of them. Remember, even if they were giving away the oil, they were still making money because there was no cost to maintain the oil. So that's why our oil price dropped below zero at one point after pandemic happened. So what happened was, basically, yes, the oil producers, the billionaires, or the guy, you saw the gentleman, the big guy, and of course he approached Donald Trump, you know, because he donated the money, 21 million, and hey, you need to help me. So Donald Trump went to Saudi Arabia prince and also Russia Putin. Hey, you need to stop producing, you know, and reduce the production so that less supplies gonna drive up the price of the oil and gas. And yeah, that was the success of Donald Trump. Yeah, you could say so. But because of that, after they reduced their production, they started to enjoy the higher oil prices. Their profits, revenue increased, and also their profit margins increased as well. So when you have profit margins increase, the businesses, the country OPEC, they don't want to produce more at all. Why would you produce more to bring down the price? That's gonna eventually hurt your profits. No, they don't want to do that. Oil companies, executive professionals, billionaires, they were bringing in so much money because of higher oil prices. They never got to produce higher than before pandemic. You know, now production level, they are even lower than pandemic level. So they don't have any incentive at all. You see, most higher oil prices are bad for most consumers, but for producers, they love it. They definitely love it. Oil and gas companies, yes. So let's see if that's true. That did Donald Trump really do reduce the oil productions? We need to look at the videos. Yeah, he did talk about it. Look at that. April 3rd, 2020. Donald Trump was thinking to reduce oil output of 10 million barrels a day. Okay. Right, that was his, you could say, his achievement. And the thing that I don't like about Donald Trump is because, yeah, he loved to claim his credit. I increased the oil price, but he likes to blame it on President Joe Biden. Higher gas prices is because of Joe Biden mismanagement, you know, and higher inflation is because of Joe Biden. When in fact, he was the one that caused lower productions of oil. Low supply means higher prices. Remember, this simple economics 101. So let's look at other video that talk about and Donald Trump attempts to reduce oil production and which caused the spike in the oil prices right away after that. So let's look at the video and you're gonna love it.
Tweeting that the oil markets are going to see a huge cut in output. He says, quote, just spoke to my friend MBS, the Crown Prince over in Saudi Arabia, who spoke with President Putin of Russia, and I expect and hope that they will be cutting back approximately 10 million barrels a day and maybe substantially more, which, if it happens, will be great for the oil and gas industry. Let's bring in now.
You see? Spoke to MBS, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and he also spoke to Putin, Russia. And they're going to be cutting back millions of barrels, and substantially more if it happens. Will be great for the oil and gas industry. Of course, you know, he got donation from oil and gas industry executives and billionaires, and Yeah, I mean, I would say it was a good thing at the time when he did it. He saved oil and gas industry because they were American producers. They have higher costs compared to Saudi Arabia or Russia. So they could not stand the low oil prices. And of course, which is bad for consumer. If you're driving, every time you see higher prices, you could say it's because of Donald Trump. Literally. So we're going to go and look at the data and see if that's true. Now we look at if Donald Trump did reduce oil production. Yes, we saw 2 videos. He talked about it. That was the proof. And Mark Cuban, billionaires, also talk about it. What happened? Yeah, so it all checked out. So we're going to look at the data to confirm more, not only one thing. You need to look at different sources to be sure that it's fair and it's true, and to make educated decision. Look at this one. Yeah, Reuters reports, special report. Trump told Saudi cut oil price supply or lose U.S. military support. Of course, Saudi Arabia doesn't want to lose military support, so he cut oil prices. But I think in a way, it's a bad thing because you threaten the allies. But it did get the job done, and it caused oil prices to go up. But one bad thing is that he liked to blame higher oil prices to President Joe Biden. One, there are more causes that cause higher inflation and also higher gas prices. We're going to look at that at the end of the video. Okay, next one. And also Center for Economic and Policy Research, independent research, they did a research on what caused oil prices to go up. Yes, Saudi Arabia cut back production in 2020, and you see they have not returned their production to pre-pandemic level. It stayed low. Oil production stayed low, so which explains why you are paying higher gas prices at the pump until now. Yeah, this is practically airtight. Yeah, absolutely. There are lots of things that we cannot contribute causes to the particular politicians or president. Now we can practically contribute higher gas prices to Donald Trump. He did that. Yeah, and yeah. It's more than a bit bizarre that Donald Trump literally boasted about getting oil producers to cut production and increase the oil prices, but somehow President Biden is responsible for high gas prices. It's not fair for President Joe Biden to get blamed. And we're going to look at fact. And Kamala Harris also cast tie-breaking vote to save American 38 billion. Look at that, 38 billion on energy costs, which is cool. That have big oil accountable for price cautions. Why Trump cut a deal with foreign governments to artificially raise gas prices to help big oil mega donor. Remember, when you are taking money from somebody, you need to give something back. In this case, it's higher gas prices. And 2020, yeah, Vladimir Putin increased oil prices. Donald Trump is bought and paid for by big oil. Trump asked big oil CEO for $1 billion. You see, promised to deliver their day one, which is so that he can win a second term. Yeah, huge profit. Look at that. Trump attempt to help oil companies will cost American workers and fewer reliable business at the gas pump. Look at that. Look at that. Even FTC is calling for criminal investigation. Look at that. So, yeah, $1 billion, millions of dollars. This guy is donating to Trump $1 billion to his presidential campaign in April. See, look at the Harold Hamm. Look at that. And FTC also accuses its Pioneer CEO of colluding with OPEC. It's criminal act. Look at that. Yeah, according to this bar from Saudi on the Exxon board after the deal closed. You see, look at that. Refer allegation to the Justice Department for potential criminal investigation. Yeah, that's pretty serious. Look at the data. Okay, now 2020, 2021, the very low oil productions. Before that, they were high. oil production were high. Now 2020, 2021 very, very low because of the cutback the oil production. Yeah, 2022 it went back a little bit, 12,191, but it's not even close to 2018 production level. Now it went back down to 2023. So that's why when something goes up, it's very hard to come down. If you are a business owner, you already enjoy high profit margins. Are you ready to cut back the prices the moment your cost goes down? No, it's gonna take some time, right? If you are selling $100 and your cost is $70, even though the cost goes down to $50, you're not gonna reduce the price because you're enjoying high profit margins, and you're gonna want to delay price reduction as long as possible. The same way with oil. So even though it went up, you know, you're not gonna see so much lower gas prices at the pump. And look at another data. Okay, I'm not gonna look at only one. I'm gonna look at 2 or 3, just to be sure the data was right. Yep, it was down 2020, 7,000 barrel a day, 7.48K. Yeah, 748,000 barrel a day. Look at that. Yeah, it went back up in 2022, 11.1, but it's not even close to 12K. It's not close to 2018 level. Nope, there it went back down. So another reason why we have higher gas prices and also higher inflation is because of him. Because of him, Russia, Vladimir Putin, because he invaded Ukraine. Ukraine is one of the high producing food countries. So because he invaded Ukraine, lots of food like wheat, the supply was cut, food inflation, and Russia is one of the major oil producing countries. So their oil export have been banned, so lower oil supply. So yeah, that's practically, you know, Donald Trump and Putin are responsible for higher food prices and higher gas prices. What do you think? Even if you support Donald Trump or you support Kamala Harris, doesn't matter. Data is the same. So if you want to be an educated supporter, subscribe, share this video. Remember, do not fight. Everybody is American. Okay, so we're gonna look at the issue at hand about the end. So you could be supporting Donald Trump, you could be supporting Kamala Harris, but do not fight each other, okay?
Red ants and put them together in a glass jar, nothing happens. But if you shake the jar, the ants will start killing each other.
Yeah.
The red ants will see black as the enemy, and the black ants will see red as the enemy. But the real enemy is the person who shook the jar. The same's true of society. Before we fight each other, we need to stop and ask ourselves, who shook the jar?
Yeah, very true. So remember to ask who shook the jar. Okay, do not fight just because. Do not fight your family. Do not fight your relatives. Do not break up with your friends or girlfriend or boyfriend just because of different political alliances. You are free to support anybody. You are free to talk about it. Remember, when you talk about the issues, always depend on the data. In stock investing, option trading, I always look at the data. I rely on the data to make decisions. I don't look at analyst opinions or recommendations or any news. It doesn't matter to me at all. So always remember who shook the jar. Do not let Donald Trump shake the jar and have you fight each other, because one of his main tactics is to divide and conquer. When he divides, then he's trying to win the election by dividing American people, dividing, discriminating against immigrants or different races. Do not let it happen. Okay, we are all Americans, so we can have different opinions. Just discuss and debate using data and make educated guesses. If you want to learn more about stock investing, call option, put option, advanced option, and other investment, education, you can go to my channel, Master Rich Stock Option Crypto, subscribe, check out my playlist, and you can travel around the world, whatever, you can talk about anything you like. It doesn't matter, inflation doesn't bother you. If you could turn 14,000 into 242,000 in 3 years, just like me, June 1st, 2021 to May 25th, 2024. Within 3 years, I 17 times the initial portfolio value. Share, subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.